pirate is someone who has adventures and dreams.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the things you need to remember before Season 2 of Netflix's One Piece live action.
What are you? What is that?
Number 10, where we left off. The first season of the One Piece live action ended with the conclusion of the Arlong Park arc. It was a great place for the series to stop, as Arlong was definitely Luffy's most formidable foe during the East Blue Saga. In the final moments of the last episode, we're shown that Luffy now has a bounty, and the crew do the iconic barrel scene from the manga/anime.
I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
This is pretty notable because the moment actually happens a bit earlier in the live action, whereas in the original, it's right before they're about to enter the Grand Line. We've actually got one more stop before we reach that point, however.
The Grand Line. Nothing's gonna stand in our way!
Number 9, what's next? Although the first season covered most of the East Blue Saga, we've still got one very important, albeit short arc left. Loguetown is the Straw Hats' final destination before they set forth into the Grand Line, and is home to one of the most iconic scenes in the franchise. It's where the legendary pirate Gold Roger meets his untimely end. Executed in front of a large crowd, but not before letting everyone know about the One Piece and kickstarting the Great Pirate Era.
Free yourselves! Take to the seas! My treasure is yours to find!
While we've already seen this Loguetown flashback in the first season, we can't wait to see how the live action adapts Luffy's hijinks there in Season 2. Number 8, arcs covered. As we mentioned in the previous entry, the first season covers the majority of the East Blue Saga. For Season 2, however, it's going to be covering a big chunk of the Arabasta Saga. The Straw Hats' first stop will be the Reverse Mountain arc, which involves a giant whale who becomes more relevant to the overarching plot than you might realize. Next is the Whiskey Peak arc, and if it's anything like the original, we're going to see a lot of action involving Zoro. After that, it's the Little Garden arc, which is perhaps the most intriguing one for this Netflix adaptation, as we're curious to see how well the prehistoric island translates into live action, as well as our two favorite giants, Dory and Brogy.
What is that?
And lastly, the final arc will be Drum Island, who's going to introduce a very special furry little fella.
Chopper, you're hiding the wrong way.
Number 7, Baroque Works.
They are Baroque Works.
In all of the arcs we just mentioned, there's going to be one key component that links all of them, the criminal syndicate known as Baroque Works. We won't get too into the nitty-gritty about this group to save the few of you who are live-action only viewers from spoilers, but at the time, these Devil Fruit users were the toughest opponents the Straw Hats faced, and are the key adversaries for most of these story arcs.
These guys are unstoppable!
The first season of the live action has already teased them in a really clever way, with a flashback involving Zoro.
Mr. Seven, I represent an organization known as Baroque Works.
Here we see the pirate hunter turn down Mr. Seven's invitation into Baroque Works before effortlessly cutting him down. What made this scene so interesting is that it was only briefly mentioned in the original manga/anime, so seeing exactly what happened was a real treat for the fans.
それと数年前、イーストブルーでバロックワークス社の勧誘を蹴り、当時のミスターセブンを切った海賊狩りってのも。
お前だ
な。懐かしい話だな。
Number 6, even more Garp. One of the biggest changes in the first season was Luffy's grandfather Garp's heavy inclusion.
This is Garp. Pirates, you say? Raiding on base in Shell's time. What did they take?
In the original manga and anime, Garp doesn't show up till later, and only really gets involved with Luffy following the conclusion of the Enies Lobby arc. Introducing Garp so early on and making him a main fixture of the cast was a welcome change, as Vincent Regan put on an excellent performance.
Alright, you brat. Have it your way.
Although we don't know how involved he will be in this new season, Regan has confirmed he's filmed new scenes as the Vice Admiral. This likely means we'll also be seeing more involvement in the plot from Kobe and Helmeppo, who, much like the original, are learning under Garp.
So, you think you're up for it?
You're gonna train us yourself?
Well, you want to get stronger, don't you?
Number 5. Smoker and Tashigi.
でけえ声出しやがって壊れちまったじゃねえか。
すみません。
ダメだな。
Garp won't be the only Marine chasing after Luffy and his crew in this coming season, as much like the original, Loguetown will be introducing fan favorites Captain Smoker and his subordinate Tashigi. Smoker was already teased right at the end of the first season, burning Luffy's wanted poster with one of his cigars. We also briefly saw him when he was young, in the Gold Roger flashback execution scene. Smoker's gonna be played by Callum Kerr, who honestly looks perfect for the role. Number 4. Oda's continued involvement. We live in a world that's full of absolutely awful live-action anime adaptations. But I think we can agree that One Piece was one of the rare few that really hit it out the park. Its success was partly due to the fact that the franchise creator Eiichiro Oda was heavily involved in the production. Seriously, anything he didn't like or agree with, he would make sure they changed, resulting in many reshoots.
Not bad, boy.
Thankfully, his heavy involvement looks to continue with the new season, and from what we've seen of the trailers, it looks even more faithful than the first one.
Together. There's nothing we can't take on.
Number 3. Tony Chopper.
This is the most fun I've ever had.
After Season 1, fans were wondering how exactly the live-action series would portray everyone's favorite little reindeer doctor. Some were even concerned that they may skip him entirely due to budget reasons with his CGI. Fortunately, he was one of the first things confirmed for the new season, when Eiichiro Oda first teased it back in 2023, when a second season was greenlit. We would finally get our first look at Chopper at Netflix's global fan events, showcasing impressive CGI, as well as confirming that actress Michaela Hoover will be voicing him.
Shut up! I don't need your clapping.
Number 2. Arabasta Arc. A lot of fans were hoping that the second season of the live action would cover the most important part of the second saga, Arabasta itself. Unfortunately, this season won't reach that crucial part of the story, however, it will more than lay the groundwork for it.
Now!
Key characters of the Arabasta Arc have already been casted and are going to appear in Season 2, such as Arabasta King Nefertari Cobra, Luffy's brother Ace, and the villainous Crocodile. With the latter, we only really heard him through a transponder snail, with his physical appearance obscured in the anime/manga. So it'll be interesting to see how the new season showcases him.
つまりお前はこの俺に嘘の報告をしていたわけだ。
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Season 3. So, if we're not reaching Arabasta in this latest season, surely that means we're getting a third season, right?
You will never find the One Piece.
Well, thankfully Netflix has confirmed Season 3, and they've actually already started production on it, filming new episodes in Cape Town, South Africa.
That's
what the journey's all about.
The fact that they've already started filming hopefully means that the gap between seasons this time should be even shorter, and it's very likely that this third season will be more than enough to cover the rest of the Arabasta saga.
Good luck.
Which scene from the manga and anime are you most looking forward to see in the live action? Let us know in those comments below.